Amigos de Película Cinemex, ¿cómo están? Yo soy Riva y estoy feliz de traerles este especial de Air, la historia detrás del logo. Una película que nos cuenta más sobre los legendarios Air Jordans, pero más allá. Es la apuesta de Nike hacia un atleta que sin haber pisado una cancha de la NBA ya era toda una superestrella, Michael Jordan. Además es la historia de una madre que nunca dudó del valor de su hijo y de cómo con este deal multimillonario cambió la historia y logró que se cimentara la cultura de los sneakers a como hoy la conocemos y celebramos. Tuve la oportunidad de sentarme a conversar con Ben Affleck y con Chris Tucker. Ben Affleck además es el director de esta cinta que de verdad está increíble y que ya encuentras en tu sala Cinemex favorita. Así que, no siendo más, vamos a ver este especial de Película Cinemex.
1984 has been a tough year. Our sales are down, our growth is down.
Sonny, I brought you in here to grow the basketball business.
You don't know what the hell a Nike is.
What's a Converse?
NBA All-Star shoe.
There's nothing cool about Nike.
You would have to have a pretty compelling pitch.
I can tell them the one thing the other companies can't compete with. Our basketball division is terrible.
I do not love it.
Ben, Chris, welcome to the película. Congrats on the movie, and I must say, it's a dream to have you with us.
Hola,
two.
¿cómo está?
Hola, estoy muy bien, muy feliz de saludarlos. You two are real and genuine people, and you know, that's what you get to see in this film. Real, genuine people just doing it, making dreams come true. So I'm gonna start with Ben.
Okay.
Ben, I'm really curious. When did you knew you had to tell the world this particular story, the seed for sneaker culture, and how you decided it had to be told through the optic, not of the business side of it, but more from both a family and maybe an underdog POV?
I wouldn't make a movie that was the Michael Jordan life story because I didn't want him to appear in the movie. I want him to be like above it because I want to make a movie about how our heroes really inspire us and a movie about how it affects everybody around him. And it's also about a company that takes a risk. And it's not just, hey, this is a business story. It's really a meaningful risk, which is to say that we're going to acknowledge the meaning and value of people who have been historically undervalued and not try to or take advantage of them or exploit them, at least to the extent that they have previously been taken advantage of, exploited, and recognize their worth. And that what Michael demonstrated subsequent to that deal and what he did, I think, meant and reverberated far beyond just the story of these people. So it becomes a little bit more of a fable about people coming together, them taking a risk, them believing in greatness, them being inspired, them being fragile and weak and funny and things, success stories happening in ways that you don't expect. And, once I fleshed it out with actors who are also filmmakers and brilliant like Chris, it just came to life in a way where I just felt like I was watching it get made.
It's amazing. And Chris, you are inspiring as always. You put so much input on giving Howard the right tone for this, as I know he's your friend in real life. I wonder how for you this was both satisfying and challenging to portray, as we're talking someone so close and whose story you know so up close and personal.
Well, it was definitely challenging, but I had to dig deep, and a lot of research and like I said, a lot of conversations with Howard, talking about him and talking to other people, and it all came together, and then also it wasn't a big part, so we had to make it a little bit more meatier for me because
Chris built it, made it.
Oh, thank you. But Ben, that's just part of his genius. He allowed me to do that. A lot of directors, they get offended or whatever, and they're like, instead of saying, let's work together. And Ben was like, let's work together, let's find it. And we found it, and it worked for the overall movie.
Climb on your shoulders. And we're
Thank you.
This is what I do. I find you players, and I feel it this time. Yeah, okay, it's risky. When you were selling sneakers out of the back of your Plymouth, that was risky. Don't change that now.
For a rookie?
Yes.
Who's never set foot on an NBA court.
That's the literal definition of rookie, yeah.
Ben, and you play one of the greatest out-of-the-box CEOs of our times. After being on his skin, what inspired you from film night that you now take and apply to your own life on a personal level and obviously as CEO of Artist Equity?
One of the things that I really took away from this story was that I think in retrospect, everybody that ended up talking to us said that was the best time of their life, that there's joy in those times of when you're trying to break ground and do something uncertain and working together close to people that you care about. And, we all think, oh, well, if I get to the mountaintop, then I'll be happy. And we miss the happiness that's right in front of us. which is in the moments like the ones that we tried to communicate, the spirit we tried to communicate. And it could be the early Nike days, it could be other companies, it could be just that time of life when, you know, that before it's all defined and figured out, and when it can seem scary and seem hard. And I thought, like, this is joyful, actually. This is maybe one of the best parts of life, and I want to reflect it.
Thank you. Have an amazing day, and thank you for this movie. I loved it. Gracias, amigos de Películas Cinemex, por acompañarme en este especial de Air, la historia detrás del logo. Pude conversar con Ben Affleck, con Chris Tucker. Nos contaron, obviamente, de lo que hubo detrás de crear esta película, que tiene mucha nostalgia ochentera. La banda sonora está buenísima y, por supuesto, ya encuentras en tu sala Cinemex favorita. Yo soy Riva y tú y yo nos encontramos en un próximo especial de película.
What's the plan?
We build a shoe line around just him. I need the greatest basketball shoe that's ever been made. Who's the player?
Michael Jordan.
I believe in your son. I believe he's the future. And his story is gonna make us want to fly. But a shoe is just a shoe.
Until my son steps into them.